Hirosaki is famous for its cherry blossom festival. You see beautiful views of the castle. 2,300 cherry blossom trees are parked, located around the moats of the castle. They're blooming a bit later. This is the 13th of April 2021, and it's a bit early for the cherry blossoms. So you can see the moat will be just wonderful when they come out, but they're in buds. Inside we may see some cherry blossoms that are out early. Hirosaki is in the north of Japan. It's accessible through a local train on the Aoi line coming from Shin-Aomori on the Shinkansen. Thank you for coming out early. At least we can see a few. It is said that through the pruning skills of the apple orchards and fruit trees, they have managed to get about twice as many cherry flowers on most of these trees than is normal. That is also one of the reasons why it's so famous. Not just the number, but also the blooming capacity. This is the city office of Hirosaki Shiakusho. It is a good destination if you want to run quickly from the station. It's about over 2 kilometers or 1.3 miles from the station. So the moat is there. You can see you're cleaning the knives for cutting the trees. The art of pruning the cherry blossom is really quite technical. And this is an entrance to the car. When the cherries are out, this is what the gate looks like. This is after the cherry season, but still some remains to show what really it was like. You can see here, people can buy different types of cherry. This is an illustration with the different types of blossom and how some of them come out at different seasons, allowing you, if you design your park, to have a cherry blossom lasting a longer period of time, so that we can see some late cherries and some early cherries, and a very picturesque environment. The Shidori is finished, but the Eizakura is out, and there are so many different varieties of cherry blossom that it makes a wonderful show. And then the autumn leaves also provide that color. So you see two different cherries next to each other, Eizakura and Shidori, but they're much more elaborate names. But you can see here, just falls down with gravity, providing a great wealth of color. Castle was the seat of the Sugari clan, built in 11. 3 moats, a floor area of 492,000 square meters in 6 compounds. Sanaburi Otomon Gate is a historic gate. See the back of a gate and a really large sliding bar. That's snow. So this is the corner of the Botanic Gardens. And the castle park is large. Some early blossoms. The magnolia is still coming out. Pine nettles. Some early blossoms. It's a good place to walk your dog. Pine cones are scattered around here. This is also a magnolia. The festival of cherry blossoms and the stone wall construction. You can see pictures when they were making it and rebuilding the stone walls. In the construction, they've moved the castle in a very dramatic style, and after 10 years of reconstruction of the stone walls and foundation, they will build it again, move it back. You see the wonderful reflection. So these, in a few weeks' time, will come out with the cherry blossoms. Great anticipation. Hirosaki City Museum. So the city's one of the main festivals is the cherry blossom. Tsugi no Hashi is built from cedar. So now we can see the remains of a cherry. The green leaves have come, the cherry has gone through another year of its season. Although there are some weeping cherries, these are what remains. Hirosaki City Museum. So the cherries that are famous along the side of the moat of a castle have finished for another year. Yet we can see some to provide a glimpse of colour. The new leaves of the cherry tree are still beautiful. One of the castle keeps, and in the background still snowy mountains. There's even snow in the castle grounds this year. It's a really solid wood, but it's also softer. It's kind of gives, it's a really nice feeling to walk on it. Some of the early cherries out. It's really soft wood. Castle. Bicycle. Got a place to cycle through. More of these displays of cherries. It's a great space. Must be tough to run with a mask. Hirosaki Castle. Visitor. It's still under construction, as it will be for some time. Someone from the bridge. See the castle mound. Nihonmaru South Gate. It's a gatehouse. It's from the original time, 1611. It's 410 years ago. It's part of a castle keep, a turret in the forest. See, it's also a construction for the regeneration. This is a weeping cherry, unfortunately too early to see it this year. This is another turret, I'll be in the gate. Castle Information Center. You can see the original castle keep ground, and this is where the central castle is. It's a really grand castle. They're really reconstructing the stone walls and the moat totally. Painting. Paint. When they built it 400 years ago, they didn't have a crane. Sasha Damari Gomon site. It's actually interesting how the stones are being piled here by the trucks, and they're going to put it in the backstop of the large stones to fill in the walls of the keep. Another weeping cherry, and here there's one that comes out early, so this is really just a taste of what it must be like when 2,000 of these trees are out. Remember, the castle has been moved in 2021. It's in a state of movement for reconstruction. On top, fish. The remains of a day. The dried petals now becoming mulch. This cherry is also served another year of its life. Hirosaki Castle. And the cherry trees are still here, providing a beautiful backdrop. This cherry Sakura is lasting a longer time. It's really pretty. Still the experience to live in the cherries. So this view of Hirosaki Castle in the cherry blossom could be gained. Looking from the side, you can see every layered floor. This was a site for storage. The blossoms are coming out, showing the archaeological remains underneath the castle and the history of the construction. This was the site Okiguru storehouse. They also had papers and storehouse there. There's a mountain, a snowy mountain. So even though it's under construction, it's possible to go in. Renaissance stone throwing hole. Ishiotoshi. Throw the stones on people behind if they're being attacked. The moving experience is really unique. From the trees, the carriage of the king, Darryl. Quite steep stairs. You can see out the window there's a mountain. Snow for much of the year. Countryside. This is a model of the inside of a castle. Pictures of all the Japanese castles all around the country. This is unique because it was one that was constructed and kept for hundreds of years without reconstruction. Hirosaki Castle Keep. Information. This castle may not be so big. It's famous for two main reasons. One is its age. It's the oldest of the castles in the Tohoku region, because most castles were reconstructed. Some were damaged in World War II, others had various fires over time in history. And the second is its park with the cherry trees. It's really focused on cherry trees in this area. So then the mountain can be seen in amongst the cherries. The sun all set. These wonderful cherry blossoms provide a great backdrop for the mountain and for the castle. This is what the cherries are famous, why they are famous in Hirosaki. You can see the fact that we have cherries lasting over the period of a month is why people love to come to see the castle. This is a characteristic stone wall, remnants of a castle. From the ramp we can see the castle and the mountain and the cherry blossom. Conveniently, they have built a ramp as a photo shooting place. You can look out. You can see, unfortunately, still the walls being reconstructed and different varieties of cherry in different periods of their blooming. But they've made sure with a position, when they repositioned the castle, that there would be a viewpoint to see the mountain and the castle together. There are many cherry blossoms. Lake. This is Chukoto Bridge. It's a really pretty place. Swings have been taken away, unfortunately. The blossoms and tulips remain as part of a castle area. These cherries also have finished. This was full of blossoms and petals. Now it is gone. The Mamaji, of course, is still beautiful. And this provides a great backdrop. This wonderful view, castle. That's a 100 yen bus, a loop bus, drops at several points. That was the last bus. Leaves at 6 o'clock from the central station. So, unfortunately, I've missed that bus. It's about a 20-minute walk back to the station, or I can wait for another bus. Walking back, you can see the mountain. I'm walking back to the station. Behind is a large mountain. On the bridge, the celebration of the cherry blossoms of Hirosaki. Wisteria is still to come. You can see the small side street. This road goes back to the station. A compound of a castle. Provides greater space and some other entertainment facilities and rooms. If we compare to some of the other castles, such as the castle grounds In Kanazawa, it's smaller, but the cherry blossoms really make it interesting and beautiful. People here showing how difficult it would be to climb, especially if it was in the war. It's hard enough with modern equipment now when trying to clean it and construct. So what are they trying to do? They want to leave moss, but they want to take some things off. I guess we need to ask them. This is one of the weeping cherries. It's early. People are enjoying first tastes of spring. Wherever you go in Japan, the cherry blossoms are famous. People can dress up in traditional costumes if they'd like. It provides entertainment. Already you're so far from the main castle keep. This is another of the entrances into the castle gardens, and in the larger park with the botanic gardens and the Gokoku shrine in this complex in Hirosaki. And another famous thing is when these cherries drop their petals into the ponds. So that's going to be really beautiful as well. But not today. Famous for apples and cherries. Again, too early, but the apple blossoms would have been nice to see. More of the castle grounds and the keep. So the outside moat, cherry trees will come. Few have come. I guess we describe this as 1 or 2%. This will become beautiful when it's out in full bloom. You can see the age of these trees. Pruning for the branch shape. The thought that goes into this design. At Hirosaki Station, some modern buildings, tourist information center. Welcome to Hirosaki.
ベビーカーをご利用のお客様は危険ですのでエスカレーターにはお乗せにならないようにお願いします。
Quite modern design, some quite beautiful art. A giant apple. By Apple products. So they have some blossoms arrangement here. Some buds. These are fresh, real flowers at the station. So it's a really nice display to welcome visitors to Hirosaki. To catch a train before it goes. Driving the train. Let's see. Train tracks. Hirosaki gas.
This is the only line train bound for Alma. The next is Darryl. All cars are no-slip. Please set your mobile phone to silent mode and refrain from talking on the phone. There are priority seats in most cars. Please offer your seat to those who need. It may be necessary for the train to stop suddenly.
So you can imagine what it's like to drive the train.
本日もご利用くださいましてありがとうございます。この列車はAUSN下り普通列車青森行きです。これから先、内城市、川辺、北時は、浪岡、大釈迦、鶴ヶ坂、津軽新庄、新青森、終点青森の順に停車いたします。新幹線ご利用のお客様は途中新青森駅にてお乗り換えです。途中の川辺には11時47分、浪岡11時56分、新青森12時19分、終点の青森には12時29分の到着です。まもなく内城市に停まります。降り口は左側です。お降りの際は開けるのボタンを押してお降りください。
Seabird Gardens, just getting over the snow and the winter, the spring has come. Possibly the taxi driver said 1 week or so the cherry blossoms will be out. So that would be nice. The start of a festival should be well timed. See some fruit trees even in the city. Small orchards. Not much to snow.
This train is bound for Aomori. To board the train, please push the door button.
Life has seasons, and soon these leaves will come and the flowers. Not many signs of life yet in these trees. Fruit trees are really famous from Aomori. You see how they're pruned, the main stems, and then side branches for apples. end of the town. Suddenly, very sharply, is the farms. The end of Hirosaki and neighboring small towns. Mixture of rice fields and apple orchards. Some of the owners are getting busy.
まもなく川辺です。お入り口は左側です。お降りの際はお近くのDoors on the left side will open. Please put the button on the door off the train.
Open air houses can improve the temperature and start the growing season earlier. Still really looks like spring is just coming to this part of Japan in the north. Animal farm. The animals are protected from the cold weather. So it gives you an idea of the nature of Japan, the closeness to nature, but also the cultivation, especially here in the north. There may be one main growing season. It's down to one train line, so the train schedule is carefully coordinated to open it for alternative directions. To get to Hirosaki from Shin-Omori Shinkansen station, it takes the OU line. Omori is also famous for wooden dolls. You can see apples in almost all the adverts. Also famous for a festival. Quite a modern, nice wood. Tourist Information Center. From the Tourist Information Center, you see places in Shin-Omori Station. Many of the museums are actually around Omori Station itself. Gate. So this train, Hayabusa, connects Hakodate and Tokyo. It's a really cool looking train. Only reserved seats, but for the Japan Railway Pass, it is free to make reservations on any train that you can reserve. Car 6. The door is exactly right. It's a long train.